So you're looking at starting to build out your food storage, but not sure where to start. If that's you, then this video is going to be extremely helpful. So follow along with me. So if you're new to prepping, I want you to consider three category types as you begin to build out your food storage stockpile. Your first category is your normal food items. These are your everyday items that you eat from day to day, your shelf stable items. So canned goods, box macaroni and cheese, your peanut butter, all of these things, your normal everyday items. The second category you want to consider is your long-term shelf life foods. These are what we typically think of as your number 10 freeze-dried large cans or your 5-gallon buckets of grain. That's what we normally think of, and those are great. But it also doesn't have to be that. It can be your home food, properly preserved and canned food from your garden. But what we want here are like 20-year shelf life type items. Now, our third category are our instant ready-to-eat foods. Think of MREs or your Mountain House instant food packs. Those things that you can quickly, often it's rehydrate or they're all in one, and you can have them ready to eat. And they have a relatively long shelf life, typically around 5 years or so. So now the next thing we want to talk about is the ratio of these categories, how much of each particular category. I like to break mine down around 45, 45, and 10. So that's 45 normal foods, 45 long-term, extremely long-term, and then about 10% of those instant ready-to-eat things. Now, there are certainly other categories and items to consider as you get deeper into your prepping journey. Off the top of my head, I can think of candy, alcohol, various bartering items, all kinds of different things you can dig into. But as you're first starting out, I recommend you focus on these three categories, and I'm going to even give you kind of a recipe for doing that. So a great way to start out and do that is to make sure you have at least a 2-week supply of your everyday items, your non-perishables, your canned goods, mac and cheese, all of these things that you might typically eat that'll last. You want to have at least 2 weeks, and that's going to cover the most likely scenarios you're going to find yourself in, which is such as a electric outage, power outage, bad wind, bad storms, type stuff like that. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to focus on building up your immediate, MRE type, meals ready to eat type. And I want you to focus on around 3 to 5 days. And what this is going to do is it's going to facilitate a bug out situation, right? Our bug out bag should be a 72 hours, 3 days at a minimum. So it's going to facilitate that, but it's also going to facilitate having some immediate food on hand during some kind of a larger crisis to where you want to be able to eat fast and don't have to worry about that even at your house. Now that we have those two in place, we can start bringing up our long-term 20-plus year shelf life food storage. And then we're going to just kind of build them out all together for whatever your goal is. You might want a 2-year goal. You might have a 6-week goal. But whatever that is, you can kind of build them out respectively to that 45, 45, 10% ratio. At least that's the one I like to go with. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Share your thoughts and questions in the section below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. That helps us, but it also helps me identify the content that you appreciate. And so I kind of keep focusing on that. Till next time, safe prepping.